So I think we are going to go into a recession. In some ways, that will be good for crypto because it will finally get interest rates calm and down again. Like, I'm sure we'll have crypto adoption both from investors. We're already seeing it with companies, right? So, but asset classes prices always get ahead of where the actual, building of a company is, right? Tesla wasn't even selling cars, and they had a decent market cap, and so you got to keep the story up until you can build product that then generates the revenue. That's the process that's happening in crypto. And so what crypto needs is stability in the non-crypto markets. At that point, you'll see stability in crypto and you'll see fast adoption.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Mike Novogratz telling the truth again. But they only give us half the truth. Yes, we're going into a recession. But we're going to have plenty of pumps and dumps before they do that. And we know we're going to have a main event. But he talks about the Fed. All this free money they were pumping. Now they have to shrink it. And we know as they start shrinking liquidity, these big corporations are now going to lay off. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, the robots, algorithms, and drones are being set up to take over the economy. We have the Fed actually upset that the $2.5 trillion that the American people are saving hasn't been spent yet. And yes, you heard that correct. They want everybody broke. They want to bring America to its knees. And we know America, the Babylon's about to fall. And China, the dragon, is about to rise along with that digital yuan, backed by that digital SDR. And we all know the Crypto Teacher wrote about it a long time ago. Because he knows, when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Allowing price discovery. There seems like there are some obvious things that you could have seen that would indicate it wasn't going to be transitory. What do you think caused it? How did the Fed miss so badly, and you miss so badly?
Well, I think the biggest surprise for me is that, first of all, the virus has taken longer to arrest than I had expected, and that is still keeping some people on the sidelines. So the supply of workers, the supply of labor, has not recovered as fast as I thought it would. And then second, the biggest surprise for me that I'm still wrestling with, by the way, is that there's still $2.5 trillion of quote-unquote excess savings on household balance sheets, and it's not being spent down yet. And so I keep asking our economists, how is all of this consumption being funded? It looks like it's being funded from current income. That, to me, says it's much more sustained. It's not transitory. I would have expected by now more evidence that these household balance sheets were being spent down, and then we'd be transitioning back to something like the normal that we had experienced. And so in that...
Are you redrawing your lines here at all? And is there a new low that you have to consider?
Listen, I said early in the year I thought we'd be 30,000, 50,000. We were 40,000 literally just a week ago. And so the pace of this move has been severe, right? It's correlated with the risk off that you're seeing in all assets, right? The rise of the dollar. And so I still think 30,000 should hold, right? We'll see if 12,000 holds the NASDAQ and we bounce in the next few days, then I think you'll see Bitcoin 30,000 will hold. If the NASDAQ falls and we head towards 11,000, there's a shot that 30,000 goes. I would tell you, getting away from price, which is hard to do in a day when the market's down 10%, it's really interesting if you just look back at all the adoption that's happened this year. I mean, the first quarter alone, venture funds have put $14 billion into the ecosystem. And so this is an asset class, right? Blockchain, digital assets, Bitcoin, that is getting tremendous investment, tremendous interest. And so while the short-term, outlook is painful, it's going to be, like I said, volatile with the rest of assets as the Fed adjusts from free money to normalized conditions. My medium-term conviction hasn't wavered. I really do still see this as a very exciting asset class with a lot of momentum. Free money forever, right? The correlation increased dramatically after COVID because every central bank took a fire hose of liquidity and sprayed it on the tarmac. And so it made all assets. You could look at the correlation of, fine wines or baseball cards or any collectible to the NASDAQ to assets. And so we're unwinding this era of free money. And so it's not surprising to me that Bitcoin, which was a hedge against free money, is selling off. I do think those correlations will break down or will lessen the moment we find some stability in the market. But right now, if you're an investor, you've got 100 fires to put out. Did you overcommit to venture? Do you have enough liquidity to pay your private equity commitments? Oh my goodness, I used to be in risk parity. That doesn't seem to be working at all anymore. And so very few people want to put on new risk in a moment of this kind of tumult. And so I think once the tumult stops, I think that's a word, tumult. Once the chaos stops, then I think you're going to see the allocators who have been doing all their homework. Listen, I just went around the country and to a bunch of conferences. I am wildly convicted that there is infrastructure being put in place to bring lots of capital into the space.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's surviving this unwind that investors have to for the course. For most people who manage institutional money or manage lots of money, this is unbelievably painful. And so you use the same kind of risk analysis you do when you're trading other assets, right? I would tell you, though, that the new institutional players that are coming in with a very long-term focus. I mean, and you can put BlackRock and Blackstone and Citadel and Apollo into that bucket, right? Those are four of the biggest names in investing, and that they're getting in, right? They're working on infrastructure and trying to help create institutional frameworks to bring their clients in. And so I don't think this asset class is going away because we've had a 50% sell-off. This is still a young market, right? What Do Kwon at Terra Luna has attempted with and is executing with both UST, with Anchorage Protocol, and with Luna is what's called an algorithmic stablecoin, a stablecoin without central banks, without assets held at a bank, for a digital world. It's an experiment. It has been running. It's under a lot of stress. There's a classic, in essence, run on the bank. They are defending it. We will see how it goes. Certainly, it's not good for the overall ecosystem if it doesn't go well. But in any new asset class, in any new industry, you're going to see experiments, tried and failed, and some try and win. You go back to Elon Musk and you read his biography. There were 4 or 5 times Tesla was this close to bankruptcy, he'll tell you. He didn't say it during the time. He said it afterwards when something happened and he got through it. And now he's built one of the great car companies of the world. And so I'm just, we are in a frontier asset class. It does trade at 70 vol, right? And so people should expect you're going to see episodes.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world. is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.